Hey guys, welcome back to episode 88 of Telepathy. 88 angel number. This is your sign that you're gonna have an amazing day. Telepathy said so.
I always forget that I'm like on camera when you're introducing the episode, and I'm like, "Hey guys," it's so awkward.
I could just cut you out. I could cut you out of this whole episode. Just kidding.
You technically could, and like, would I notice?
Wait, do you think you would notice? Like, if I cut your audio and you weren't in the episode, would you notice?
Well, like, but the thing is, like, how often do I actually go back and listen to our episode? Like, I feel like you could prank me with that, and like,
can April Fools come back?
That would have been a good April Fool.
You just were cut from the episode.
Yeah. Okay, well, we're also going to be cut from our current lives very soon because we are graduating high school, graduating college, so we thought that today would be a good day to talk about those types of topics.
Yes, start that intro
which we'll get into
over.
in a little bit.
Did you get the pun? Because like
intro.
start over.
Oh,
Hashtag
okay.
refresh, start over, rebrand. Exactly.
Yes. But before we get into that, we're going to do our icebreakers, you know. You saw it coming, unless you're brand new.
And if you are brand new, hello, welcome, join us. Subscribe, come back next Tuesday and every Tuesday after that. This is a cult. Okay.
I was just about to say that.
Telepathy. If you guys are wondering why we're
Telepathy.
called Telepathy, that's why.
Yes. Okay, so it's my turn to come up with a camp question. And my question today is a very timely one because Easter is this weekend, but what's your favorite Easter candy?
Oh,
Specifically, like, you know, like all the candy brands change things up for Easter or new ones emerge. You know what I mean? I can go first, I guess.
yes, would be great.
I don't know if we've ever like gone with the person asking goes first, but we'll make that a thing today. Okay, my name's Anna. I'm 22, and my favorite Easter candy is the Cadbury eggs. Specifically the ones, you know, just like the traditional ones with the really nice crunchy shell. Speaking of, I need to go. I think we had the same. I feel like it's because we did like springtime Yes or Pass last year, and I remember talking about Cadbury eggs and being like, I need to go get some after this episode, which I do need to get some
very true.
Easter candy. But yes, the Cadbury eggs. The chocolate is just so good. I love Cadbury chocolate.
Yes. Did you say your name and age, or am I crazy?
I did.
Okay. So
No,
it was
yeah,
just
you're
me.
crazy.
It was me just fixing the thing. Okay. I'm Enzo. I am 17. Not for long, which is scary.
Yes.
Guys, why am I
wait.
turning 18? That's something to talk about in this episode because why? And my favorite Easter candy is definitely Reese's eggs. Any sort of crustless Reese's variation that they release around the holiday time. So good. I will be there. Amazing. 10 out of 10. Cadbury cream eggs are also really good. But yeah.
Yes. So good.
Yeah. Yes or pass.
Easter candy is really good. Like they ate with the Easter candy. Like Peeps. I love Peeps as well.
They ate. Wait,
Yeah.
I don't like Peeps actually. But I'm not
know
really a
that
big marshmallow fan in the first place. So I
Yeah.
feel like it makes sense for me.
I've heard a lot of people say
moving on.
that they don't like Peeps. Can you hear me okay? Mm-hmm. Okay. I was just making sure. Because we
Was I
kept
not-
like
did I not
talking at the
answer
same
you?
time. No, we just kept talking at the same time, and I couldn't tell if you could hear that I was talking or not.
There are sometimes in the episodes where like I think you'll cut out in my AirPod, and I am like, it almost gets to the point where I'm editing, and I'm like, I should put a disclaimer that like I did not intentionally talk over you, but you'll like be talking, and I'm just like still talking, and it's like, stop.
Maybe my AirPod, it's probably a problem with my AirPods.
It's been working fine. Shall we continue?
Yes. Music shout out for this week. So I just finally this morning listened to Joe Keery, DJO, however you interpret his name. I finally listened to his new album this morning and it was so good. You need to listen to it. It's giving like the Strokes mixed with the Beatles, it's like the Strokes and the Beatles combined.
Wow, that sounds fun.
And I really like it. Like, it's genuinely so good. And I'm going to shout out the song Gaptooth Smile. Yeah, it's just really good. I already listened to the album twice today because it's just so. You can just like see where all of his influences come from. It's very good.
This week, I'm shouting out Perfecto by Mac Miller. I've had so many Mac Miller shout outs, I feel like, just in 2025 so far, but
Yeah.
this is just one that I was like, oh, let me keep going. So that's going to be in the playlist. Or, sorry, what playlist?
Whoa.
What
Whoa,
mysterious
wait, that
playlist?
was jumping ahead, are we? Yeah, so we have a playlist called the Telepathy playlist. And to go to this playlist, you can go to our Instagram at the Telepathy Pod. We have a link to our Spotify playlist that has so many songs. A lot of songs at this point. What's 88 times 2 plus a little bit more?
No,
That's
because
how
some
many
weeks I
songs
shouted
we
out
have in this
40
playlist.
songs, other weeks I shouted out one. There's a range.
Yeah, exactly. So enjoy. Any like movie or TV shout outs over this week for you?
Well, I feel like I've still been going on my Barbie trend. I think the last episode I talked about that. I watched Mermaidia. I feel like I don't know if that was a new edition. I might have mentioned that one, but we're still on the Barbie movie trend because I can't stop. I need to like get
Yeah.
better taste, like more sophistication because
No.
true,
You
that's
should
true.
go
Actually,
in.
I'm
You
not the
should go in
problem.
as a. Yeah, you just need to go in as a film major and be like, my favorite film saga is the Barbies, but the Barbie movies.
Well, I tried to do that in my UCLA application, but they didn't like that. So
Aren't the Barbie movies like free on YouTube now? I know that you have like the DVDs and stuff, but I'm pretty sure they're all free to watch on YouTube.
I don't think so. I think that people are just illegally uploading them.
Oh,
So
okay.
they are free to watch, but like they're not
Yeah.
but they're not free to watch. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
They're slime tutorials
Yeah.
for the theater kids, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So I've also been kind of like in the same also trend of watching not Barbie movies, but I've also been in a trend of watching the same types of movies. I've still been going through a lot of the Audrey Hepburn movies, and my friend Charity came over last night for a movie night, and we were like, we should watch a Audrey Hepburn movie, so we watched Paris When It Sizzles, and it's kind of one of her like lesser known movies, but I really enjoyed it. It was very campy and silly. It was also like it follows the storyline of like a movie within a movie. So it was very like meta and funny. Really good like costume design and set design. So I enjoyed.
Okay, any interesting week recaps? Any changes this week? Any big changes?
The only big thing is that I was interviewing with this job for a little bit and like I didn't feel like I wanted to work there or that it was the right job. And then yesterday I had another interview with them and I like really realized that it wasn't the right job, so I ended up like dropping them.
Going through a
Which
breakup, if you
felt
will,
good.
cutting them off.
Yeah, no, and I was also like, it's literally like not you, it's me. But I was also like, I'm not good for you. Like you don't want me. Like you need someone better than me. I'm not skilled in Photoshop like somebody else might be.
Exactly.
I'm illustrators, my one true love.
Yes. So true. This week
Yeah.
for me, guys, I'm so done with school. I'm not here for this, but I am working on a Scooby-Doo musical. And so that's been fun, but like kind of stressful. So it'll get there. It'll do its thing. I'm just like so over school and not feeling it. It's
Yeah.
the senioritis. I think I'm done.
Also, it's the fact that so many people, at least on my side of things, like so many people are almost done at other colleges. Like my friend who goes to school in Canada, she's like done. Like she came home, I think. And then like Carolina is, I
Yeah,
mean,
she'll
she
be
just
done
has like
soon.
one more week of school and then exams. So
I know my graduation isn't until like June something though, and May is going to be a stressful month. So honestly, don't know how that's going to go. But there's a lot of uncertainty and a lot of changes happening. So I think that's a good
Yes.
segue into our topic.
I feel like, yeah, because I feel like right now we're at one of our most uncertain points
Absolutely.
altogether. So I think this is like a good time to talk about it because we can like express how we're feeling and then also like come back to this in a year or whatever when we're thriving in our new places and
Exactly.
be like, oh my gosh, like they had no idea, you know?
Right. Because I feel like, okay, if you didn't see my YouTube video, I committed to UT Austin, which I'm really, really, really
Yay.
excited about. And so I've been talking to people and trying to find a roommate, which has been scary.
Mm,
Like I hate this so much. But I I kind of like hinted at this in my YouTube video. I didn't talk as much about it because like it was more of like an announcement where I'm going and like where I'm going is UT Austin. But just something that's just like added to the anxiety of it all is I got waitlisted from NYU and I sent my letter of continued interest because the interest is continued, in fact. So that's also just been another like because it adds a level of uncertainty because I don't know where I am in this wait list. I don't know how many people got waitlisted. There could be like a 0.001% chance, but it's like there still is a chance. So it's like scary, but and just like
yeah.
I don't know. So it's just adding
Well,
to the
and it's
anxiety of like I don't know where I'm gonna be. I do know where I'm gonna be, but it's like waitlists are so weird.
and it's like you can't fully commit your brain to UT Austin. I mean, you can, but like it's still there's still always that level of like, well, I could be making all these plans for UT Austin and then maybe I'm not even going to go there.
No,
But it's
exactly.
like you
It's
have no
like
idea of the probability.
yeah, I don't even know what the probability is, and also it's like of course, there's a part of me that's like, oh, it would be so cool to get off the wait list, but it doesn't mean that I'm not excited about Austin at all. Like, I'm very, very
Yeah.
excited for that, but it's just like, I don't know what to feel. And of course, just like the whole idea
Yeah.
of moving out in general is scary. Like, I have a Little Mermaid poster from my spring musical, and I was thinking about, I was like, oh, I need to put that up next time I like reorganize my room. And then I was like, do I just wait for the
Mm,
college dorm? And then I was like, oh, I don't like that at all. Like, I
dang.
don't. It's all becoming a little bit too real recently, and I don't know what to do.
Yeah. It's become very real for me too because like this job that I was interviewing with last week, which now I'm glad that like I've declined this opportunity because now I can like talk about it in this episode with more certainty of like I'm not gonna be working here. But this job, like as soon as they asked me, also I didn't apply to this job. This was something that like they'd found my resume through SCAD and kind of asked me if I wanted to start interviewing. And eventually they moved me to like the or third round of interviews. And that was when I was like, wait, like if I get this job, like do I want to move to Florida? Like and then I just imagined moving to Florida and I was like I got like so like scared almost. Not scared like I just got like what's the word? I got like just like punched into reality of like, oh my gosh, like this could be my life in a month, which is so weird. And then I was just like, it just didn't feel right. I was like, I don't want to do that. And then it was also scary thinking about how literally in 2 months I am gonna pack up all my stuff here and go to a new city, which I don't know yet. And I may or may not have friends there. If I move to LA or New York, I will have friends there most likely, which will be awesome. So I'm like not as worried about getting jobs there. But the thought of moving somewhere random and new that I don't know anyone is so scary. Like I literally
Yeah.
spent all the past 4 years of college making friends and all that, and I have to like lose it and start all over again.
I think it is interesting though. It just goes to show like intuition versus anxiety though, because obviously just picking up and moving after college and getting a job and all of that, especially in a new city, is scary. But so that can cause like some anxiety, but also your intuition is still knows when it's like, I'm not just anxious about this opportunity. This just like doesn't feel right. which I feel like
Right,
is important.
exactly. Yeah, like I could tell the difference between that because I just like it, yeah, it just like didn't feel right. And I would love to live in like LA or New York just because I know that I will have friends there. And actually, I've said up until really now that I don't want to live in New York at all. But after like thinking about it more, I'm kind of like, I want to live either somewhere I can travel a lot or somewhere that's like a really big city that I can just like always have things to do because
Hmm.
I'm at the age where I just want to like do a lot of fun things, like try out lots of restaurants, like be able to go with friends to like a cool bar or lounge or something like that. And having a friend like my friends Maggie and Lily like would be awesome
Yeah.
because literally okay, but like the thought of like moving to a new city out of college and having to make friends is crazy because like the only options of friends you can make are like coworkers or like random people you meet somewhere or like,
Yeah.
like isn't that crazy?
No, tell me why. Whenever I
Okay.
think about moving to a new city, I always think about Jessie because she literally just like came to New
Oh
York and
my
all of a sudden she
gosh.
was just like, oh, and she found her way around. But
Wait.
like the idea of just like getting to a new city and not knowing anybody, it's like, who is your, you don't feel like, oh, she's my first friend in New York. It's like, what do you mean your first friend in a whole city? Like, where does one begin with that?
Yeah. That like boggles my mind. Only time will tell.
Yes.
That's why I kind of didn't want to move to like it wasn't the middle of nowhere in Florida, but it was in between two somewhat cities. And it was just like I just knew I would get bored of that area really fast, you know. Um so yeah.
No, my dad is always talking about how, like, with college, he doesn't think, he's like, location doesn't matter. It's about the program. And I have stood very firmly on this for so many years. Location absolutely matters because it's like
Yeah.
where you're going to be for 4 years. And especially with us being in creative areas, it's like if you're not getting that creative fulfillment or if you're not
Yes.
inspired,
Yes.
what are you going to do? Like, it is
Okay,
that deep.
that is literally a telepathy moment because I was gonna say that exact same thing after you finished saying what you were gonna say.
So let's talk
Because
about it. Let's talk about it.
yes, that this is such a thing I had never really like. I think I had always known deep down, but I never really like had it explicitly thought about in my head until like a few days ago because I was talking to my friend in between like a class and like a presentation that we went to. And we were at a coffee shop and we were talking about all of this and she was like, I mean, I feel like location like shouldn't matter that much when you're like looking for a first job, but then again, like you want to live somewhere that's like if you're a creative and you live in a boring place with nothing inspiring, you're just going to have nothing in your head. And like for me, so much of my work, pretty much all of my work is inspired by places I've been. Literally like most of my work is inspired by places I've been. So that is like so important to me. So I was just picturing living in like a new apartment complex in a newly developed area in Florida and like not really being able to just like walk outside really quick and walk into a nice city, but being kind of in the middle of nowhere. And I was like, I would get depressed really fast because I lived my sophomore year in college. I lived in a big apartment complex and it was downtown in the main city of Savannah, but like living in a big apartment complex, it feels kind of depressing to me because it feels like it takes so much time to get out of the house that you feel kind of like locked in unless you really have the motivation to leave.
Yeah, no, I get that. But that was me with, so the UNC School of the Arts, it was the only in-state school that I applied to. And I did a summer film intensive there and it was great. Like I loved the campus is cool, you know. I thought that all of like their resources and the style of classes from the summer thing was all great. And so I applied there. But I remember just like throughout the summer, kind of going on walks throughout the campus and just thinking to myself, like, this is cool, but I could not do 4 years here. Like, just it's not for me. It doesn't mean that it's like boring, but it's just not fulfilling for me. And so that's why I
Yeah.
kind of knew that, okay, yeah, this program is great, but I don't think this has, it didn't just come down to location also, but that was just like one of the things that I factored in. And so I think that I
Yeah.
always said with Texas, I was like, the only place in Texas I would move to is Austin. So feeling good about that. But yeah, thinking
Yeah,
about New York a
Austin's
lot is also
awesome.
very real.
Austin is like known for I guess the phrase of like keep Austin weird or something like that.
So
Like
quirky.
they're known for like being artsy and weird and cool, which I love that.
Yes.
I've loved. I'm trying to remember what I thought about going to school in Savannah before I did. I think I was like excited because I had visited Savannah and I loved it. But I think I was also a little bit nervous because I had always pictured going to a college that was like on a big campus and just like a big grassy campus, you know, because that's just like the stereotypical college. But I think that Savannah has been like the perfect place for college. Like, I can't really picture myself living here long term. Like, maybe I'd move back here when I like have a family or something, because I think it's a really awesome place. But like, I feel, sorry. I feel like 4 years has been the perfect amount of time to like get to know Savannah to the point where now I'm not like bored, but I feel like I've done everything. And I feel like I'm ready to like move on to bigger and better things. But at the same time, like I love Savannah. It's just so perfect. There's so many things to do during the day and during the night. I love that there's so many things to do during the day. Like there's the park and the beach and it's just like there's always something to do. So I'm glad I made that decision, but also I'm sad to leave Savannah because like me and my friends have talked about it and we're like, "Oh my gosh, it's so crazy. Like we're so familiar with this place. Like we know Savannah like the back of our hand now, and we're just going to leave and it'll always just it'll never be really where we live anymore. It'll just be like, "Oh, I used to go to college there." And
Yeah.
like slowly it'll change because Savannah changes so fast. Like slowly it'll change and then we'll be like, oh, like it's changed so much. Like this wasn't here when I went to college or something like that.
Yeah. No, that's how I feel about. So I grew up 17 years in Raleigh, North Carolina, and it's crazy because I feel so ready to leave. Like no hate to Raleigh, but it's just kind of like North Carolina as a whole. I do feel like I'm ready to like move on from it, but it's also terrifying the idea of this just being, oh, this is where I grew up, or I'm just going to like my parents' house. Like I'm
Yeah.
like, that means I have to set up camp somewhere else. Which
Yeah.
that's like literally what it feels like is like finding a new place to like set up your tent. Like I feel like I'm
Yeah.
finding a new camping ground. And it's also weird because I've been to Austin twice, so I can't really visualize myself there
Yeah.
because the last time that I went there was 2021. So I was a freshman. And so I wasn't really processing it as like a college town and like where I could see myself. So I think that when I go for orientation in June, it's going to be kind of like a weird moment because I'm kind of like, oh, I'm seeing Austin and like it's not a city that I'm super familiar with, but it's like I have to get familiar with it. And like
Yeah.
I am going to obviously over time, but it's just
Yeah.
weird to like look at something knowing like, oh, this is gonna feel like home, hopefully, but it's like it
Yeah.
absolutely does not right now.
Yeah, it's so weird. I even remember my first week of school at SCAD and it all feeling so unfamiliar and me like having no idea where certain streets were. And now it's like you could probably give me a map of Savannah and I could write down like every street
I just know that
because it's like so familiar.
when my parents leave and the second that they touch ground on a plane again in Raleigh and they get home, I think it's all gonna hit me at once. Like, oh my gosh, you're in your respective house now and I'm in mine. And it's like, it has existential crisis written all over it. So we'll see that. I already
Yeah.
know the vlogs, the college moving vlogs are going to be chaotic because I know there's going to be like some sort of sobbing breakdown in there. But I feel
Yeah.
like it is inevitable though, because
Oh
like I
my
was saying, like
gosh.
I do feel like I am ready to like move past Raleigh, but like I'm ready to leave high school, but am I ready for college? And I know I am. I just like I have to because it's an
Yeah.
inevitable thing and nobody ever feels genuinely ready. But I do feel very terrified.
It's weird how things change too, because like I remember being so sad when I left home for college, and it was like this whole thing. And then now I'm gonna be so sad leaving college, and it's weird that it's weird to think that I was sad about like transitioning to something that I'm now
Yeah,
repeating, also being sad about leaving. And I'm also sad to leave my room, my house. Like I really love my house in Savannah and my room, and but I know that I'll have a room somewhere else that I'll love. But it's so weird in my situation because I literally for so long you always know.
my Arizona tea can. Sorry.
I was like, what was that? That's so funny. Oh, I was just saying it's weird being in my situation where like your whole life you know exactly pretty much where you'll be 5 months ahead of time.
Yeah,
And right now I don't know where I'll be in like a month and a half. So it's just the weirdest feeling, like not being able to plan for anything for the rest of the year. Like I don't know what half of my year will look like. But
exactly. Okay.
hopefully we'll find out soon.
So I had some things like
Yes.
written down because, like, of course, this isn't, I can't believe telepathy episode with us just talking about ourselves the whole time. Like,
Yeah,
fine, we'll
exactly.
acknowledge you. No, I'm just, I'm
We have
just
to
kidding.
we have to get some
But
deep thoughts,
I
you
think we
know.
should talk about like understanding what makes you you. You know what I mean? Because when you're moving and picking up and going somewhere else, I feel like there's parts of like your routine or like your room or your closet that you have to kind of leave behind. And so kind of just understanding like what makes you you. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
I think one thing that this is actually crazy because something that is a huge part of my routine is doing my makeup at my desk. And why is that something that I've actually thinking about a lot is in college, like, oh, I'm gonna have a different space to do my makeup in, or I'm gonna have to adjust to find the time and space to do that, or something like that.
Yeah.
Like even just little parts of my routine. I'm like, how am I gonna do this elsewhere? Like I can't even imagine doing this elsewhere.
Definitely. I remember something that I heard when like moving into college is that you should bring certain things from your room that like really remind you of your room. So like my tapestry has come with me from like high school, and I still have that. And like wherever I am, I have this tapestry in my room, and it makes it feel like my room. And like I've collected a lot more things over the years, but it's it's interesting moving to a new place because you can almost rebrand yourself, or like whenever you meet this huge amount of new people, like they don't know anything about how you were over the past 4 to 10 years.
Exactly.
So their earliest impression of you is your like latest to date update of you. So it'll be interesting. Like I feel like I've changed so much over the 4 years in college that probably some of my friends that I've had since freshman year, like, still kind of think of me as my freshman year self. Or, like, I mean, they've seen me change over the 4 years, but, like, they still have those, like, first impressions, I guess.
Right. They haven't run their software updates yet.
Right. So, like, it'll be interesting seeing how people perceive me just meeting me, like, outside of college, I guess.
So what are you taking with you from your room to your next room?
Probably everything, except that it kind of depends on where I move because
True, that it all
if I
comes
move
back to
like
this crisis.
I know, because if I move like 2 hours away, I can probably just bring everything and do a U-Haul, and it would be cheaper. But if I move to like Europe, for example, I'm probably
Europe,
gonna
the
have to
whole
like start
continent
all
of Europe.
over. Yeah, because that is very out in the or is very up in the air. Like I am applying to everywhere,
Yeah, no
except
places off
for
the
like
tables.
yeah. Yeah, if you know of any jobs in Europe, please let me know.
That
uh,
are Illustrator related and not Photoshop.
yeah, specifically.
Okay, I think. Or wait, sorry, go.
No, no, I didn't have anything to say. I was just kind of saying to fill the space.
Oh, to hold the space. Okay, I think for my room, I'm definitely bringing. Okay, I need LED lights in my new room because I feel like that's just like such an iconic part of my room. Also, I think I want to start a new Arizona Toucan wall. I don't even drink them that often, but I feel like it has to happen now. And then
Wait,
also,
what's the dorm situation like at Austin?
see, I kind of have to figure that out. I found a few buildings that I like. Um, I just don't know how to find a roommate. It's so stressful. Even like somebody I was talking to was like asking me about like how I would decorate and stuff, and I'm like, are we implying anything? Like, can we room together? Like, I don't
Yeah.
know. I'm scared. I'm
Yeah. Dang. That's
scared.
crazy. Um, we should talk about like more over the years, different changes we've gone through. Like
Yes,
you should talk about your change from like private to public school.
yes. So kindergarten to seventh grade, I went to the same private school and that Anna went to actually. It was very, very small, literally and figuratively. Like I feel like it was a very limiting space for me. And just like in my classes, I think it was kind of with the same 12 people kind of throughout. And so I
Yeah,
think that that
you
was,
had the smallest class in the school.
yeah, it was something that was just very like I said, limiting. Like I just felt,
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I would be very different if I went to like public school or something. But
Yeah.
I was just like not feeling it anymore. And so I actually changed for eighth grade. And I already knew I was like, this is going to be crazy because, you know, everybody already knows each other in eighth grade because you've been in middle school together for so long. So I'm already going to be at a disadvantage there. And then the world was like, oh, a pandemic. And so I started eighth grade year at a public school online. And it was
That's
really
the
scary. And honestly,
craziest.
I don't know what I would have done if it was in person because I would have lost it. Because when we did have to go in person, I already knew some people, but like I was a freak, you guys. Well, you guys know because that was like the reality shifting era. I was a freak. I did not talk to anybody. I was like, and it's like I didn't talk to anybody because I was so scared. Like literally, people were actually really nice and like tried to approach me, and I literally shut out like any signs of that happening and any opportunities of friendship because it was like I was just so terrified. Um, but actually, just some things, some advice is like I think taking advantage of all of the many opportunities. Like I think there's so many people that I could have talked to or conversations I could have started that could have led to something, but I didn't. I mean, there was a few instances where actually one of the girls in my class, I like followed her on Instagram. Um, and I actually ended up not really even knowing her super well, but one of her mutual friends then followed me and then we started talking and she's now like literally one of my closest friends since then. So I think it's just like little things can lead to big things. So it's like don't disregard the little things. And I feel like that can be not
Yeah,
even
for
only
sure.
just with friends, but I don't know, maybe there's like a club at your school that you're kind of like, I don't know if this is for me, but I'm gonna go to the interest meeting anyways. And maybe you'll find that this club is not for you, but at the interest meeting you'll, I don't know, meet a new friend or something, or just like discover a new opportunity that may
Yeah.
be really good for you. So yeah.
I would definitely recommend I wanted to bring up the club thing because I always wanted to be like involved in clubs in college. But like freshman year, I felt like I wasn't worthy to like join a club because everyone's always like, "Oh, just like you should join a club even if you're a freshman." Like it's it's like such a good idea, but I always felt like me as a freshman, why do I deserve to like join this club because I'm just so new and I don't know anything. So I didn't really join any clubs until sophomore year. But then luckily like I joined them sophomore year and that's kind of what allowed me to like get leadership positions later on. But I would definitely recommend like go to a club as a freshman and like don't be scared to just like get involved right away because you can meet a lot of friends. Like two of my friends in the club that I was in met as freshmen and they're like best friends and roommates now. And like there's a freshman that joined the club that I was in, the SCAD newspaper, and she came as a freshman and she was like super enthusiastic and excited, and she just got a leadership role as a freshman. So like, don't hesitate to like get involved, because that's just like the fun part of college, is being involved in things.
Yes. I think that's another thing is this going to college is kind of reminding me of the transition from public to private school, or like 7th to 8th grade, because it was the type of thing where I was going in already feeling at a disadvantage because everybody already knows each other. And at Texas, the out of state population is quite small. I think it's Texas state law that 90% of the student body has to be from Texas. So it's like already part of the 10%. And I think that can just make it feel like I feel nervous because I'm like, oh, do you guys already know each other? But it's like, no, Texas is actually a huge ass state. So
Yeah.
like that. And also
I was going to
the
say
thing
that
like
Texas is huge.
everybody's a freshman, like everybody's starting college. So it's like if somebody's
And
acting like they have it figured out, like that's when it really goes to show that confidence and like faking it till you make it can go so far.
yeah.
And just acknowledging like not everybody has it figured out and you are not behind. You just need to like take a deep breath
And
and like feel things
I want
out,
to, I do want to say, like, also a lot of people go into state college being like, I don't want to ever see any of the people I knew in high school ever again. Like, if I had gone to a state college, I would have been like avoiding everyone from my high school because I
At
want like
all
a new set of
costs.
people. So I think if you have that mindset of like people want to meet new people and get out of their high school sphere, then yeah, that will be good for you.
Yes.
It's so weird to think that like both of us are gonna be in different states, and now it'll be very different because like our siblings Carolina and Kirk both go to school very close to our house, so like we always still get to, like, and I come home a lot because I'm only a 5-hour drive away, but like, so we get to see each other a lot and stuff. But with you being in Texas, you're gonna be like the farthest away.
Yeah, like there's a
And
potential.
I could be really far away too if I live in like LA or Europe or something.
It's just crazy with the four of us. So me, Anna, and then my sister, and then or Anna's brother. This could be like the first time that we could all live in a different state. Which is crazy because like we've always, I don't know, like even Anna went the furthest, of course, but it never felt like it was that much of a change because we still saw each other so much. Like just naturally with like holidays and stuff. But I think that's something is like, are we gonna have to like book flights to see each other? Like we're gonna have to make like
I know.
the
we're gonna
conscious
book
effort to
flights.
like I don't know, that's just like scary. And it's like telepathy could be virtual for a while.
I know. I did apply to a job in Austin, but there's really not that much right now. I've only applied to like one job in Austin,
Yes.
unfortunately.
Keep Austin weird.
Which I would love to live in Austin, like keep Austin weird.
Yeah.
Me moving there to like propel that
Wait, I think your AirPods are
Point.
dead or something.
oh, the one that doesn't work was the one that was in my ear. Yeah, basically like who knows where I'll be. Hope maybe I'll live close enough to drive to you, but wait, where is Austin in Texas? Where
That's a good question. I could not tell you.
That's so funny. Do you have any more like advice about change?
No, unfortunately.
I think the advice is just that you have to like just do it. Like there's only so much preparation you can do.
Yeah, I think
Like,
it's a
I
lot of
felt
it just
like
like
I had
putting
to
yourself out there.
Yeah, I felt like I had to prepare so much for college and like make sure everything in my dorm was perfect and like all this stuff, but like it's really just you figure it out when you get there, and if you don't like things, you change them. Like yeah, but I think I've definitely learned by traveling so much over the past year that I want to be somewhere that is very exciting and traveling. Like as a kid, I feel like I didn't seem like the type of person that wanted to just like go so many places. I seemed more like the person that just wanted to like live in one place, but now I'm like, I want to travel a lot or like live in a big city while I'm in my 20s. Maybe when I'm in my 30s, I'll like get more stable. But right now, I'm looking for somewhere more dynamic.
Yes.
And definitely somewhere creative because seriously, so many companies that I would love to work for are in the worst places. Like my favorite makeup brand Tarte is literally in the middle of nowhere in like Indiana. And it's like, why would I live there?
Yeah. And it's like no hate to these places, but it's like if there's definitely like I feel like you almost have to get the city life out of your system. Like I know I'm like this city might not be for me in 10 years, but I just need to like live there, get it out of my system, and then wherever next feels right is where I'll go, you know?
Yeah, I think it is definitely very much about like figuring it out as you go. Like I know that probably the next 10 years of my life will be that, which is kind of scary but kind of
Adulting.
exciting because yeah, I'm kind of I'm more excited than scared because I'm like I'm at the point now where I can just like do whatever with my life,
The free
and that's
will
so
is
exciting.
there.
But yes, I'm entering my free will era. So it's cool. I could just like I could technically pack up and move to like France right now on like a artist visa if I wanted to, but like I also don't have money right now, so it's gonna be a mixture of doing things I want to do and trying to save up some money.
Right. It's like free will, but not everything around you is free. So it's like, okay, maybe there are limits actually.
Real. Well, I don't really know if I have much else to add. I feel like this was a good episode to just like kind of give a life update, but also
Try to be
talk about
somewhat
like how,
insightful, but also a little bit existential because that's where I'm at. Also, tell me why I started like picking off my nails because they've been on for like a week and a half, and like I feel like it was some of their times to go, but a few of them were like really on there, and now it like hurts so bad. So that's just another life update.
oh my gosh. Yeah, I think this was also a good episode just to like be hopefully more relatable. Like since this was such a casual conversation, like hopefully you guys listening can relate because sometimes when I'm listening to like YouTubers or podcasters, I feel like they have it figured out, but like nobody has it figured out.
Right.
And I think that's the thing about becoming an adult is realizing that nobody has it figured out and you just have to like pretend that you do.
Exactly. And also, I feel like it's such a thing with podcasts is you have to be giving advice constantly. But it's like I think that sometimes it can just make everyone feel better if we just like open up for a second about what we're feeling in the life updates because
Yeah, that's true. Like I have advice, but I also like don't. Like this topic
exactly.
has there's plenty of advice, but there's also like plenty of like nobody really knows.
Right. Like I have some tips about transitioning from private to public school, but keep in mind I did none of that. And that's how I learned that because I did none of that.
Oh, wait, that's so real. That's so true. Yeah.
Yeah. So moral of the
All
story,
right.
nobody has it figured out and we're moving somewhere. Well, I know where I'm moving. I'm moving to
Yes.
Austin,
We're
but
moving
also like
somewhere.
guys, kind of keep your fingers crossed also. Like I still love Austin, but still put good vibes in the air because
Yeah.
NYU is my girl, but Austin is also my girl.
Oh,
But
show. Yes. Yeah. And if you imagine if you lived in New York City and I lived in New York City, telepathy
in New
would be back
York,
in
yeah,
person.
exactly.
Well, anyways, guys, thank you so much for listening to this episode. Comment any advice or like stories or things that relate to this topic. And as usual, we'll see you guys next Tuesday with another episode. It might be in person next week because I'm going home for Easter. So yeah.
Yes.
Yay.
Okay. Bye, guys.
Adios. Bye, guys.